Hello and welcome back to SF1. It's GP3 night and it's the final round. It's not quite all to play for anymore. We'll go through that information in a bit, but welcome back. And I hope you're looking forward to this race as much as I am. It's quite tight at the top, and like I said, we'll go over that. But it is the finals night. We were supposed to have Senna with us tonight, but unfortunately he is elsewhere, having to commit to some family things. But nevertheless, we'll do what we can, and hopefully it is a absolutely thrilling final race, really, because there is a lot to play for, but it's not all to play for. We've got some tight fighting at the top end of the table, and that'll be really where the focus is tonight, because this could shuffle things around. Williams and Mercedes fighting for the championship. It's going to be difficult for Mercedes to get this done, because if they get a 1-2 tonight and the fastest lap, Williams only need to come P15 and P16 in order to take the championship. So there's a lot of work that's going to need to be done for the Mercedes guys. They're really going to have to push. Obviously, anything can happen. We could lose a Williams car, we could lose a Mercedes car. But Williams really in the main seat for that title championship. But we'll keep an eye on that. And the gap between P2 and 3 is just 5 points between Mercedes and Alpha. So if Mercedes really don't have that great a race, Alpha can jump them. Ferrari and Racing Point are 1 point separated for P5 as well. So there could be some movement at the top of the grid, at the top of the table, which would be really interesting to see. Wrathful and your Robbie fighting for P2 and 3 in the standings, of course. So whoever comes out on top tonight really is going to take that. It could be a draw. There's a 1 point gap between them, but really that'll go down to race finishes and where they've been. Space down. Got some more battles. We've got Cypher Josh and Solex for P7. There's only 1 point between them. Gumber and Sherbert for P10. There's only 4 points between them as well. And then we've got Damberg and Grimdog for P13, my favourite number, and there's 1 point separating them. And Aqua and Gamerman at the back of the field, but still a fight for P19, and there's 8 points separating those two drivers. So it could be really interesting. We'll go back over that in the 5-minute break, but just for those watching now, you get an idea of what we're going to be looking at today. And what could be done. Cardinal currently at the top of the timing boards with 6 minutes remaining. Let me just make sure everyone knows that we are live. And yes, good. Okay, wonderful. People know that we're live now. That's brilliant. Great stuff. Okay, that's jabbed my flow just a little bit. I'll turn that on to silent. There we go. Wonderful stuff. Everyone is aware that we are live, and I've just seen a load of you jump into the stream. So great to see you. You've just missed a little bit of an intro there, but we will go back over it in the 5-minute break. It is the final. It's the last race. There's a little bit of movement that can happen, but currently looking at Robert 22 is sitting P9 with a 129.4, some way off the leaders, SF1 Cardinal and SF1 Kimmy, topping the boards, repping the SF1 brand there with a 27.5 and a 27.6, so they're really close, just a tenth separates them. And then Solex is super close, 200ths pulls him away from Kimmy, so 27.6 as well. And Robert as well, I've just noticed, a 27.62, so just 100th separates 3 and 4 there, and 300th separates 2, 3 and 4. So that's some really good driving there. We've got your Robbie very close and Johnny Sherbert. So your top 7 all within a couple of tenths of each other, really, or three tenths of each other. which is great to see. Grimdog on a 28 dead. Allow your face on a 28, allow your face, sorry, on a 28 dead. Kenarito on a 28-4. Danberg and Nutmeg have already dropped out, so maybe dropping the car a bit. And then we've got Goomba, Cypher Josh, the Gunners, and Raffle taking up the back. Yet to set a lap, but he is on an out lap, so we'll see what he can do. Who is going round and about to start or set a lap? Let's have a look. We've got lap delta and the track map there. Fastest lap detail, fastest. There we go. Beautiful stuff. There we go. Right. If you are new to the channel, you're just browsing through the old F1 streams, do click the follow button. We'd like to see you involved. Get involved in the chats. Oh no, yeah, Gamerman hasn't turned up, has he? And yeah, that's unfortunate. No problem, Marcus. We know you're busy, but thanks for joining in to have a look at the stream. Anyway, really excited to see the outcome of GP3. I haven't been here the whole way through. I've done a few of the streams, but it's nice to stick with something and see it evolve through the season. And this really has. Lord Bumbledore stuck at the top there with a 27.476, so just a couple hundredths there separating him. So it's super tight at the top here. If it's this tight throughout the race, we could be looking at a spectacular race. Lord Bumbledore showing us why Williams are at the top currently. And I'll get off of a car that's in the pit, so you're not staring at a pit box whilst I ramble on about what is 70% utter nonsense. But yeah, so unfortunately no Gamerman tonight, so he can't make an advance on, I think it was Aqua. And we have getting distracted by memes being placed in the Sunday Drive chat. This is SF1, and we have 1.5 minutes remaining of the session. Who is on a lap? All Our Face is on an out lap. We've got a Ferrari, two Ferraris. I think they're trailing each other. They are both on a lap, so we'll have a look at Goomba, shall we? See what he's doing. So yeah, a little bit of slipstream between the two drivers as they come down this medium length straight and up the hill. We got the curve of death coming up. Don't want to touch that at all, so you are going round. And a little twerk of the old bum there from 98 of Goomba. And the two Ferraris fly down the straight. This is going to help for the car behind, which is Grimdog, I believe, with a little bit of straight line speed. But is he going to lose too much through the corners? He doesn't seem to be gaining or losing time. Maybe he's been pulled along. And they cross the line. Goomba only goes P14 and Grimdog pits. So interesting. Goomba couldn't do much with that as he goes round the outside of the Red Bull. Johnny Sherbert, I thought I'd just missed him there, comes across the line and puts in a 26.2 on the soft tyres. So a different compound to Lord Bumbledore and Cardinal, but that might force the leaders just to come out and do a lap on the softs. 2 seconds left. Who's on track? I believe Wrathful is on track, and he's on the mediums. So it's just Wrathful, Goomba, and Johnny Sherbert now. I think Johnny Sherbert's going to be fairly happy with where he is. He doesn't need to do anything else. Doesn't want to put too much on those tyres. And All Our Face, is he going flat out? He is. So he's the only guy now still on the flying lap. And he's done a purple middle sector. Look at that. Can he keep this pace up as he storms down the straight? He's got Wrathful ahead of him. Is Wrathful going to move out of the way? Or does he think he's far enough ahead? No, he moves out of the way. So a little bit of slipstream there as well. Hard into the final braking corner. Braking zone on the power. Didn't quite use all the track there at all. And across the line. What's it going to be? Oh, P2. Close but no cigar. 5 tenths away from Johnny Sherbert on pole. Which is brilliant to see Johnny up there. Who have we got? That is everyone across the line except from Goomba. But I believe I don't think he's on a lap. We'll probably see him come into the pits. Yes, so that is your qualifying session. A brilliant little mix-up of tyre strategies there. We've got Johnny Sherbert and All Hour face the front row sitters, both on the soft tyres. We'll see how long they can get them to run for and what their strategy is going to be. SF1 Kimi there down in 6th, I believe it was, 5th or 6th. He is also on the soft tyres. The rest of the fields at the top there in the top 10, all on mediums. And it will be very interesting to see who comes out on top from this mix. We've got Grimdog as well, P11 on the softs, and Gunners at the back. Only 4 seconds off of Nutmeg. So it's been nice to see Gunners slowly make up a little bit of pace. I think we were looking at 20 plus seconds off per lap before, so it's brilliant to see some improvement there from some of the drivers. Nutmeg, he's had a rocky season, just not able to keep it on the track a lot of times, and running into some misfortune as well. Be nice to see Gumba get up there. Danberg's been a bit hit and miss. Sometimes he's right there, sometimes he's not, and sometimes he's just a little bit invisible. We'll work our way up through the grid in just a moment. We will have a 5-minute break, so we will be going at around about 2 minutes to 9 o'clock sort of time. Just gives the drivers a chance to have a breather, sort out their strategy, fuel, have a drink, toilet break, cigarette if that's they're that way inclined, and get ready for the upcoming race. So absolutely great qualifying there. If all the drivers on the mediums are really that close in the race, it could make out for some awesome racing and a really impressive show for us tonight. And that's exactly what we want for the final race. We want to see a great show, which is just what we want. Just gotta quickly let my drivers know to go and win this race. Cardinal in a prime position to take opportunity of any accidents, any incidents, any kerfuffles at the top end of the grid there. So I will go over again the situation that we are faced with tonight, because it could be seriously exciting. Constructors wise, we'll start with Williams, of course, at the top there. They only need, should Mercedes come P1 and 2 and secure a fastest lap, P15 and 16. So it could be a fairly laid back drive for the Williams drivers, but of course this is assuming both drivers finish for both teams. So Mercedes have really got to pull something out the bag, get a 1-2, a fastest lap, anything can happen, but anything less and favour to Williams. P2 and P3 are separated by 5 points. That's Mercedes and Alpha. Alpha can't quite squeeze past Williams, but they can definitely get themselves past Mercedes. So it could come down to, at some point at the end of the race, to Mercedes gun for it to try and take Williams if something happens to them, or do they try and play it safe and just finish ahead of the Alphas? Ferrari and Racing Point, 1 point separates them for P5 in the Constructors' Championship as well, so that could be really close. Drivers-wise, Rathful and Robbie are fighting for P2 and P3 in the standings, 1 point gap between them. They're the closest to the top that can do anything really. We already have a champion. And spaced down a little bit. Cypher, Josh and Solex for P7, as 1 point separates them. Gumba and Sherbert, P10, 4 points separates them. Danberg and Grimdog are fighting for P13, the best number, and that's 1 point between them, so anything can happen there. And Aqua and Gamerman for P19, but of course Gamerman is not with us today, so I don't think Aqua's here actually either. I haven't seen him. Aqua is not here either, so yeah, there's not really a fight there at all, unfortunately. That's a little bit anticlimactic for you. Oh well, they don't want to be here, they can just not be here. Moving onwards, we've seen a very tight qualifying at the top. We had P1, 2 and 3 all spaced at 1 point, or actually with their fast laps on the mediums, this would actually be P3, 4 and 5. Spaced just 200ths between each other, really tight. And then before we had those soft runners, it was all the way from P1 down to P7, just 3/10 separating them. A really, really tight fight. And of course, a lot of these drivers, it is GP3, it is the lower tier, but they are really starting to find their feet when it comes to awareness, driving ability, and just generally giving the space that is needed. You know, pulling back when there's no point fighting for the corner, reducing the accidents that we have. And I've really got to give it to all the drivers in all the divisions, but especially just because I'm doing the commentaries, GP3. People have really come on quite a way. We've had our incidents, we've had some questionable driving from some people at times, of course, but it's to be expected. Not everyone can be perfect, and yeah, no, so props to everyone for really pulling their fingers out when it comes to driving standards. Solix is readied up, Gunners is readied up, Cardinal, Johnny Sherbert and everyone else will be following them. We're almost ready to go. Rath and Robbie fight for P2 in standings, yeah. It's going to be interesting, it's really going to be quite interesting. Come on Goomba, pull your finger out. Out your ass. I want a top 10 start tonight. Well, you know, only 4 positions off. I mean, so I hope I didn't let you down too much there, Marcus. But yeah, guys, do get involved in the chat. I want to see all of you. It is the final. All of you, just get involved if you can. Just to, even if it's a thumbs up or a go, whatever team or driver you want. Let's get some comments going. Let's get people active. And again, if you've not followed us, please do follow. Give us a share if you want. And if you're new to us and fancy a hand at some high quality league racing, then just give us a follow and get involved in our social medias and try and get your name in there. Obviously it's the last race, so we're going to have opportunities to qualify for certain divisions coming up in the near future. Tonight is GP3. There will be, I think, an additional division for the next season as well, so there's going to be more drives available for people. But GP3 really is quite spicy and really quite enjoyable, and there's some people that have enormous talent, but some people just don't have the time to practice and be as good as maybe they sometimes are. And so if you just want some relaxed racing, you don't have to take things too serious. It's very serious, of course. We want you to be entertained, enjoy it, and have some good driving standards, of course, but you don't need to be so on it. You can have a bit of more of a relaxed attitude towards it. We cater for everyone, really. Of course, on Friday nights we have GP3, which is just a step down from the GP1, which is our top tier. We have some really seriously fast drivers there and some seriously good racing. So I do advise, if you haven't, or if you've only watched GP3, jump into GP2 and GP3 Fridays and Sundays, same time. Between 8:30 and 9 starts, normally close to 8:30, and we do a short quali and a race. Here come the drivers round the final corner. It's been a long warm-up lap actually, I rambled quite a lot, but yes, very correct, Rhodes. Turn 1 will be interesting. We have Johnny Sherbert, the Pink Panther there, lining up on the front spot of the grid. Some nice bright colours filling those boxes today. 91, my first ever racing number when I was in go-karting at a younger age. 91, very nice number. Johnny Sherbert, all out your face. Lord Bumbledore, Cardinal, your top 4. So watch them into turn 1. Let's get a better camera angle, please. Thank you, game. 4 red lights, 5 red lights. No glitches, please. They're out. And they're going. It's a great stall. A little bit of wheel spin for the leaders there. Johnny Sherbert, not the best start in the world, but I think he's pulling ahead of all Out Your Face, who again doesn't get the best start. And there, down the inside, SF1 Kimmy dives down the inside. I don't know what. I've gone too far. Oh dear. Kimmy dives down the inside, almost gets P1 as well there, but getting a tremendous start and taking advantage of all Out Your Face's fumble there at the start. Johnny Sherbert holds P1, pulls away a 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits, I think, there for Damberg. It's probably speeding, and no, it won't be speeding. I think, I don't know what it was. I missed it. Damberg gets 10 seconds. Solex moves up. Lord Bumbledore, there's been an issue. Lord Bumbledore has rolled himself down the board, and I think he's got some damage. Oh no, he's been wiped out. Oh, there's been some contact between the Red Bull of Kenarito and Lord Bumbledore. So that's one Williams all the way down at the back, and another Williams all the way down at the back. This is very interesting indeed. Williams have fallen all the way down, and that is good news for Mercedes, but Robert's got to pull his finger out of somewhere as well. They've got to get up to the top to try and win this championship, but an absolutely miserable start there for the two Williams drivers, and in contrast, an absolutely fantastic start from Johnny Sherbert and Solex in the Racing Point, or the Pink Panthers there, and Kimi, spectacular launch off the line, absolutely flying past almost both the leaders there. SF1 Carlos, stop spamming emotes. Apparently the Nightbot does not like you. Message was deleted from Carlos. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Last GP3 race with the Pink Panther on the grid, indeed. So hopefully they're going to give it a send-off. What's happened here? Johnny Sherbert. I've rambled. I was looking at the comments and I've missed Sherb. No, all good. It's fine. The game's just being an asshole. Nightbot does not like you, Carla. Sorry. And Rhodes, oof, lol. Yeah, sorry. Justice has been restored. Justice, I think. I don't know what it is. Whatever has been restored, and the timing board are back to where they should be. Johnny Sherbert leads the race with a 3.1 second gap to SF1 Kimi, who's fighting with Solex now. They're both on the medium tyre, so Johnny Sherbert's got to pull this gap out. There's a yellow flag sector 1. Wrathful P4, just a second behind those P2 and 3. And he's pulling a little bit of a gap to All Our Your Face, who has Cardinal behind for company, and Cypher Josh as well. They are ready to try and attack. I've seen the predicted pit strategy. Thank you. You do not need to keep showing me. A 1 or a 2 stop. There we go, guys. Gumba P8 Nutmeg has made some moves up into P9, so that's a strong start for Nutmeg. Nutmeg, yeah, strong start. Lord Bombardore's made his way back up to P10, but he's in the pits currently, so maybe a bit too much wing damage there, but he's got back up past everyone. And Gunners, in P10, I think might be the highest he's has been all season. I hope I'm not offending anyone by saying that, but absolutely awesome to see Gunners. You just gotta keep persisting, and he's now up in P10. And yeah, that'll be really interesting to see where he finishes off. Robert drops all back past Grimdog, so there's a bit of a fight there between the Ferrari and the Mercedes. Wrong end of the grid, but a fight between Ferraris and Mercedes. Kenarito and Damberg as DNF'd already, I'm afraid. So really unfortunate to see that. However, if anything happens with Cypher, Josh and Robert that puts them right at the top, spicy end of the grid, then it could be championship for them. But, I mean, a lot has to happen, but a lot can happen. Yeah, then both pedals have gone poof, no brakes, lol. I feel for you, Damberg. It's happened to me 3 times this season. Sorry, no, it's happened to me 3 times in Sunday League and 1 time in SF1. It is absolutely horrible, and I feel for the people that I've hit or caused problems for as well. So unfortunate that Damberg's pedals have had a involuntary bowel movement there, to put it politely. Kenarito at the back of the grid there. 5.6 seconds now the gap between Johnny Sherbert and SF1 Kimi. I don't know if that's enough in comparison to how many laps we've done, but he looks like he's got some strong pace at the moment and is doing nothing but pulling away from P2 and 3 of Kimi and Solex, who are equally having a lovely fight there with just 3 tenths separate them, 4 tenths separate them, 5 tenths separates him and Raffle behind, and a bit of a train actually forming now. So Kimi, he got the good start. Oh, Kimi's on the hards there. I didn't notice that. I thought he was on the mediums. If I'd have done something like, you know, this, I'd be able to see that. So silly me. But yeah, actually Kimi's on the soft, so he's really losing a lot of time to Johnny Sherbert there, whether that's just because he's having to fight or if he just doesn't quite have the pace that Johnny Sherbert does. But yeah, definitely pulling away. All Auer face holding up Cardinal as well on those softs and going a little bit wide. Is he going to have a penalty? Doesn't look like he's been deterred by anything, as he's trying to have a look at Wrathful, but not quite close enough. And Cardinal as well getting itchy behind him. Cypher Josh has joined the party. This is a lead, almost a lead train, but it's a P2 train. And a P2 change? No, it's not. Solex just having a look and just getting outbroken by Kimi there. But look at this. Kimi, Solex, Wrathful, all Auer face, Cardinal and Cypher Josh fighting for P2. And we're just 5 laps into the race. And Solex makes his way side by side. A little bit of a bang of wheels. Touches Solex and Kimi's wheels together. But Solex gets ahead of Kimi. And has he got the pace to scamper away now? Has Kimi's tyres gone? And is he going to be able to make some inroads on Johnny Sherbert, his teammate? On differing strategies, of course. But yeah, that looks like he's got a little bit more pace than Kimi. And the train has broken itself up moderately. But you never know, these guys might just get straight back onto them, as Kimi does have DRS. If he can hold on, get back round to the start finish and hold the DRS, he's not compromised into turn 1. He might be able to just hold on to the back of Solex. But that gap getting bigger and bigger and just dipped outside of the 1 second mark. And as you can see, as soon as Kimi gets dispatched, not taken out, just passed, the train just breaks up that little bit, and obviously some drivers at the back took some opportunities, and nothing actually changed there. But a little bit of a gap now between Kimi and the rest of the guys as all Auer face hits the pit, so those softs must be starting to go off. And Johnny Sherbert's got to look at that gap and think, how long can I stay out realistically that I'm not damaging my long-term time, as Kimi makes his way into the pits as well, I believe. No, he's just getting passed by Wrathful, so a terrible braking into turn 1. Looks like he's been caught out by Wrathful, as Wrathful moves up into P3. Johnny Sherbert, Solex, Wrathful, Kimi, and Cardinal, your top 5. Sorry, I just hiccup there mid-sentence. Lord Bumble's already not having a good time. He's all the way back down in P14. He's got a penalty as well, and he's 7/10 away from Grimdog in P13. Gunners has been passed and has dropped down into P11, but is doing a stellar job to keep up with everyone as much as he can. And we'll move back to this awesome fight for it's probably P4 now. If Cardinal gets past Kimi, look how much pace he's got as he's been released from all Auer face as he pits, and he can now just free himself up. He's got the run already, but if I were you, I'd just stick behind for now, because you're going to give him DRS down the next straight and you're going to be vulnerable. Cardinal, you're going to be vulnerable like a little baby duckling in the middle of a pond. And that looks like 2 DRS cars behind him, and a possibility for losing 2 places if you'd only stuck behind him. Oh no! Just a little bit hesitant as he turns in, loses that place to Kimi. Just a little bit too hesitant, and if he'd only stuck behind him, he may have kept the position. Now he's a little bit in danger. Nope, the Mercedes can't make a move either, but very vulnerable there for Cardinal, and he's done a good job to hold his position somewhat. Kimi giving himself a penalty as well. All Auer face making his way past Wrathful. So they're having a little bit of a ding-dong battle there as all Auer face comes into the back of your Robbie as well. And here's Cardinal fighting to try and get past Kimi, fighting for that P3 spot, and he's got to do it as soon as possible now, because all this is damaging his end time and his tyres. He's not going to get it done here. Now, has he learnt from his previous mistake? We're coming into roughly similar section. We're going to come onto that straight. Has he learnt his mistake from last time? Because it's quite easy to see that he mucked up there. So a brilliant exit. Oh, he's going to be tempted to go for it again, but is he going to sit behind? No, he's still tempted to go for it again. But this time, he sits just behind him. Did he stay behind the timing beacon of the other car? And there's a bump as Kimi gets a little bit twitchy on the exit, and he's going to be swarmed. No, he's going to the pits. Did Cardinal get the DRS? That's what I want to know. No, he didn't, so he actually stayed in front. So he didn't learn his lesson from last time, but it's all good. Hard braking, a little bit better on the defence this time, but cuts it off. And now, oh, there's a little bit of contact between Gumba and Cypher Josh there. Gumba running very well, didn't lose any wing, and has actually made his way past Cypher Josh. No, he did lose a bit of wing there. So Gumba losing a bit of downforce there and is going to struggle, but done a sterling job to get himself up to P4 from, I think it was P14. Brilliant. Excuse my yawn. Cypher Josh is going to be frustrated, and he might be stuck behind him for a couple of corners as well. There's lots of downforce, but these are all left-handed corners. So it should be alright for Gumba currently, and already the gap between Cardinal and Gumba, 2.5 seconds. And actually, the gap between Cardinal and Solex is only 5.86 seconds. Keep an eye on that. And Solex and Johnny Sherbert have stayed at 6.5 seconds. It did go down to 5 something, back up to 6.5. We started at 7, so Johnny Sherbert in the long run, the only guy staying out on the softs. I know he's not had any dirty air or had to fight, but he's still staying on the softs and only lost, what's that, 7/10 to the stronger preferred strategy of Solex and the rest of the grid, basically, as he now decides, lap 8, that's enough. He's going to pit, find himself some medium tyres, go to the end, and hopefully that's going to put him in a good position. We'll keep an eye on him. Nutmeg coming down the straight probably won't be too much of an issue for Johnny Sherbert there. Your Robbie comes round the final corner, so he's not going to interrupt at all either. So Johnny Sherbert comes out in P6, 3 seconds behind Nutmeg, but again, Nutmeg still hasn't pit, and neither has anyone ahead of him. So Johnny Sherbert, I think, in the net run, holds the lead. And there's 5 drivers ahead of him yet to pit of Solex, Cardinal, Gumba, Cypher Josh and Nutmeg. A little bit of moving as Lord Bumbledore's trying to make his way through and up into P11. Gunners has made his way down into P15, so he was eventually passed, but he's very close to the back. Oh, he's just been shoved wide there by Kennerito, and loses a bit of time and goes in completely the wrong direction. That was interesting. So Gunners showing us how to be Gunners. Go on the boys from MUFC Bex. I thought Marcus was on co-coms tonight. He was, but unfortunately he forgot about a little family thing he had to do, and I assume the other half promptly informed him that he would not be commentating with me tonight. So unfortunately, we've lost Marcus, but it would be nice to see him. He's here in spirit, so if you want to cheer him on, do so. I'm pretty sure he's watching or got the stream on his phone or something there while he does what he needs to do. Solex leading now on 9-lap old mediums from Cardinal, who's 4 seconds behind him, and Cypher Josh, who's 6 seconds behind him. Now Cardinal's making inroads on Solex. It's all part of the grand plan for Renault, of course. I'm joking, we don't have a plan. Marcus putting in a funny little emojis there, very good. And Rashi is the gamer tag mate. Oh, it's Rashi, okay, wonderful stuff. It's nice to put a gamer tag to the Twitch tag. I was going to say face, but I realised that emoji isn't your face. But oh well. Go on boys, what have I missed here? Phil, go on Raffle, watching on the boat back from Scotland. You're on a boat back from... Surely just get a plane, is that not faster? I guess a boat is more relaxing. Boats are cool. Phil, let us know how your boat ride's going. Rashi's in the chat. So we've got Rashi, we've got Darkmark or Senna, Phil, Rose, they're all in there. Carlos was here and about, and a pit stop for Solex. How far behind Johnny Sherbert does he come out? Remember, the gap was 4 seconds. Sorry, 6.6 seconds. I lied to you terribly there. And I'm pretty sure that is somewhat larger than 6.6 seconds. That is a whopping 11 seconds gap between Johnny Sherbert and Solex. So it looks to me like the soft strategy has seriously come out on top here for Johnny Sherbert. So as long as he can make those mediums work, I believe he's got to go on to a soft again at the end. So all he's got to do really is make that gap bigger and bigger, and Solex is on the harder tyres. He should be able to pull away nicely, but keep an eye on that battle between the two Pink Panthers. Cardinal now leads the race. He was gaining on Solex, and I think it would be unwise to stay out any longer. I'd probably pick to stick with the strategy of Solex, try and keep him on the back of the leaders there. Here we got Cypher Josh, who's right behind him as well. He's actually lost a lot of time. Remember, he was right behind Cardinal just 4 or 5 laps ago. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm so rude. Faster but more expensive. Only 2 hours on the boat to Belfast. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's probably an alright journey, actually. If it's a ferry, you've probably got a bar or something, unless you don't. But no, I kind of prefer boats for stuff like that. So I just lean over the rails and watch the water flop about. But yeah, no, I can imagine planes being a little bit more expensive for you. So do enjoy your ride. I hope the entertainment is smashing. And so far, I think it's been really, really good. We'll have a look at the back of the grid now. There's only one fight really going on, and that's between All Our Your Face and Your Robbie. I'm not sure if it's over already, or if it's just beginning, but we'll have a look at these two as they decide to try and fight for P8. All Our Your Face is gaining on Wrathful as well. He's on slightly older mediums to Wrathful. And Wrathful only 2.5 seconds off of Solex, actually. So Solex, I think, has lost out quite massively from the pit stops there. He's gained a bit of time on Johnny Sherbert, but Johnny Sherbert makes his way past Cypher Josh there, and I don't think Cypher has pits either. He hasn't. So Cypher, is he running with some damage? Is he struggling? No, it doesn't look like he's got any damage there, so he's just a little bit off the pace. Some worn-ass tyres, I guess. Don't forget to follow if you're enjoying the race, says Nightbot. Click the notification bell to get notified whenever SF1 is live. Click the notification bell, guys! As Cypher Josh runs into the pits, realises he's slow AF, and moves onwards. Cardinal actually hits the pits as well, so Cypher there followed him in. And where is Cardinal come out? He puts on the harder tyres. Remember, they're a lot newer now than Solex. So if he gets up there, this could be a good fight for the P2 and 3 between Cardinal and Solex. Really not too much. 1.5 seconds separates him from Solex. No, from Wrathful, sorry. My mistake. Solex is 3 seconds behind, in front of Wrathful. My mistake there. Rashi Bumbledore last. Now that's surprising. Yeah, he's just seemed to run into problem after problem after problem. And yeah, absolutely dead last. So this could make... No, it couldn't make things interesting because Cypher, Josh and Robert 22 unfortunately are only sitting P10 and 11, which simply is not enough for what they need. But yes, Rashi Bumbledore is in fact last, behind Gunners. If you'd just like to check that out, Gunners is now defending. Gunners defends hard on Bumbledore. Oh, he just locks up, goes a little bit wide, and Bumbledore shoots down the inside. Spectacular wheel-to-wheel racing from the two drivers there, as Lord Bumbledore is now no longer last. spectacular. Nice little attempted defense there from Gunners. We'll see if he has any more opportunities to shine. There is Kennerito. That's Bumbledore's next target, but we'll move away from them as things are getting spicy between the Renault, the McLaren, and the Alfa Romeo. So Cardinal's going to be looking to get past All Out Your Face now. All Out Your Face is on the harder, the older tyres, so he's going to struggle out the corners somewhat. But it's a big different thing. It's a far. Should I speak quiet? So. It's one thing catching, it's another to pass. That's what I meant to say. Oh dear. 2 hours on the boat. Yeah, I've covered all of the Gunners has got hard. Indeed. I've lost track of things somewhat. Yes, Cardinal and All Our Face are racing each other. I remember that. 5/10 separates them. And there could be some dicey racing. We've actually had a plethora, I like that word, a plethora of great racing throughout the grid today. We've had some wheel-to-wheel action from pretty much everyone so far, except from Nutmeg, which is really unfortunate to see. Nutmeg, pull your finger out. Gumba in the pits now, so All Out Your Face, Cardinal move up 1 spot, and so does Wrathful and Solex. So it's back to pretty much the standings. It's Johnny Sherbert, it's Solex, it's Wrathful, and it's All Out Your Face and Cardinal, your top 5. Cardinal on the freshest tyres there, and in a great position to try and make a move on All Out Your Face, but he's got to get it done soon. All Out Your Face with the favourable grip out of the corners, and Grimdog puts in a fastest lap with a 1:29.7. That's the lap time people are going to be looking to try and get close to or match. If you're doing that, you're doing alright. Really close to the back of the McLaren now, as Cardinal, is he going to make it stick? Remember that lesson you learnt last time. But he does, he makes it stick down the inside of All Out Your Face this time, very early in the lap, so at the first DRS zone. Now he's got to climb the hill, get a little bit of a gap down the straight, and try and just get a decent exit out of here. Here you go. Hard on the brakes, lightly turn it in on the throttle, there we go. There's a little bit of gap there. Now another braking zone and a 90-degree. Hard on the brakes, pull the gap and close in on Wrathful. There you go. Absolutely brilliant. So he's actually almost got All Out Your Face out of the DRS and almost got himself, Cardinal that is, into the DRS zone of Wrathful. So that was almost a perfectly laid out plan as All Out Your Face thinks about the move, but ultimately doesn't go for it, as 1 second the gap now between Wrathful and Cardinal, and 7/10 for All Out Your Face behind. There's no closer battles throughout the field, so we'll stick with these 3, as we watch. There we go, Wrathful, Cardinal, All Out Your Face through turn 3 and down the S's now. Really difficult to keep it on the road, especially when you've got the warm tyres and a heavy braking zone. Quite easy to lock up, very easy to miss the apex. Going to get on the throttle, but be careful of not lighting up the rear end. And here we go, the hardest braking zone in the game, I think, because you're turning the whole way, trail braking the whole way in to keep the front end nice and stable and not lock up. And then you're straight on the power, and again, very easy to light up the rear end and spin it round. And a very short DRS zone. You don't normally get the overtake done, you have to be really close to the back of them. But a little bit of a mistake there by the looks of it from Wrathful, as he locked up going into that corner and then had to pull it right to the inside and get a nice wide turn in for the curb of death corner. But it looks to me like Cardinal's getting rather close now to the back of that Alfa Romeo, and he needs to make the move pretty sharpish so he can try and get onto the Pink Panthers ahead. He's a little bit far away as Wrathful heads into the pits with his 9-lap old mediums to put on, I'm guessing, a set of softs. Or is it another set of mediums? No, it would be a hard set that he puts on. Yes, he's put on a hard set. Wonderful stuff. And Cardinal didn't get to do the move on track, but moves himself up into P3. And now he has a nice amount of time to close down that gap and really put some pressure onto Solex. Johnny Sherbert seems to be running away somewhat. He's got to get that gap up to enough so he can do another pit stop, because of course he's not going to make those mediums go to the end. So you've got to keep an eye on that delta gap between Johnny Sherbert and Solex. Let's have a look through the grid. Cypher Josh getting... Oh! Sorry. A little bit of a yawn there. Cypher Josh getting within a second. And Nutmeg, I was saying he hasn't really had any wheel-to-wheel racing. I think he completes the grid if he gets a bit of racing done. And he's, of course, getting very close to the back of All Out Your Face. This is a fight for P9. Nutmeg on 2-lap old hards and All Out Your Face, of course, just come out the pits on the hard, so brand new rubber. And Nutmeg just falling back somewhat, so not able to make any advance on his position of P10. Cypher Josh trying to get onto the back of Kimmy, and Kimmy makes a mistake, goes super deep into the last corner, and Kimmy, Cypher Josh opens up DRS, flies past Kimmy quite easily, and Kimmy now is going to have to... Oh, I thought he was coming back there on the brakes, but not quite. Kimmy's now going to have to pull his finger out, try and get that place back, or just sit on the back of Cypher Josh. Remember, Kimmy's on 9-lap old mediums, so he's going to be looking to pit pretty soon. And Cypher on 4-lap old hards. So I think Kimmy just missed his braking zone again there. Yeah, I thought he was going pretty deep. And that is 3 seconds a penalty given to Kimmy for going deep there. Obviously didn't back off enough and just gaining a bit of time, I assume. Almost running to the back of Cypher Josh actually, but it didn't happen. 10 seconds separate Cypher and Cardinal. 3.5 or 3.6 seconds now. So Cardinal's matching, but not faster than Solex. That's very important as we head almost into lap 19, which will give us 10 laps remaining. So yeah, not quite what Cardinal wants. He's going to be looking to try and put some pressure, especially with the slightly fresher tyres, and close that gap. I don't know whether he's saving fuel or what, but your Robbie is now looking a bit racy as he's closed that gap down to Wrathful, and is going to be looking to attack Wrathful on the super fresh hards, of course. And a 3-second time penalty for Solex, so that could be very interesting. If you add 3 seconds there, that makes Cardinal just 4/10 away from Solex, and that is going to give him some real inspiration. What's happened? Has Solex had any damage? Clipped a barrier? Knocked a curb? No, so maybe just a little bit wide there, a little bit deep, because he lost about half a second. But no, that now makes Cardinal just 4/10 behind Solex and on for a P2, which could be brilliant. Gumba for P1 or DNF, no in between. You heard him, Gumba. You're in P6 now, you got the fresh softs on, you better get your ass to the front! Move it! I hope he heard me, but there you go, Rashi. So hopefully, to make you happy, I guess he's got a DNF. Marcus, go on, Gumba, push, push, yes, Gumba, push! Just 3 seconds separates you from Kimmy. Kimmy has a penalty. I assume it'll be 3 seconds or more. I'm pretty sure I only got it earlier, so that's 3 seconds. So Gumba looking for a P5 at the moment. And hopefully he's going to get his foot down and try and close something up there. But let's have a look now at your Robbie, who's just 4/10 away from Wrathful. He's on the older hards, but Wrathful not all able to pull away with those newer tyres. Just looking through the field. Yep, Grimdog very close to the back of Nutmeg. So some wheel-to-wheel racing finally for Nutmeg. Tukas. As Grimdog gets very close to the back of him, but ultimately couldn't get the power down when he was that close to the back of the Renault. Has to open up DRS, results of that. Looks like Nutmeg is running a little low on ERS. No, I think he's going to hold on for one more lap. So Nutmeg does some nice defending, I'm assuming, with ERS down the straight there. And we're getting a bit of movement in the old chat box. Let's have a look. Push it like it's that pile of cars in Hungary, Gumba. Push it real good. Get moving. So Grimdog still stuck behind Nutmeg, I'm afraid, and actually everyone else is sort of gapped. So the closest fights now between your Robbie and Raffle for P7 and Grimdog and Nutmeg for P10. Obviously we're not quite into the final stage of pit stops yet. It'll be interesting to see if Johnny Sherbert's going for a one stop and staying on the mediums. I'm not sure what's happening there, but down the inside goes Grimdog, and great defensive return from Nutmeg Tukas as he cuts back, slices up the inside and whisks away. But another DRS zone coming up very shortly. 5-second penalty for Kimmy. That hurt my throat, shouting that out so aggressively. I'm getting a bit carried away at times. But yeah, Grimdog now still stuck behind as your Robbie makes his way past Kimmy. Kimmy hits the pits, that'll be why. So he's going to be looking to do his final stint now. He comes out in P10, P11, P13, no, P12, sorry, P11, yeah. So Kimmy comes out P11, Nutmeg, Grimdog, so Nutmeg up to P9, Grimdog actually losing a bit of time to Nutmeg. So has he got wing damage? Has he got wing damage? Has he? No. Just had to back off a little bit. He's going to try and regroup himself and get back onto there. Here is your leader. Pretty in pink. It's Johnny Sherbert. Actually a strong choice for a Renault drive. Turned me down, unfortunately. But great to see him as he hits the pits. Just jumped on him at the right time. Great to see him leading so aggressively. Really good in quali. Got his first stint done with the softs. Stayed out in front. Held them out for quite a long time. And now he's back onto softs and comes out P3. It's a lot of time to gain, but he's on a dominantly faster tyre. And he's looked like he's got some serious pace. Of course, remember Solex and Cardinal, they're on the old hards, so despite them being slower anyway, they're worn slows. So the lap time difference between these drivers is going to be pretty damn big. Fastest lap currently is with SF1 Gumba, who has a 1:29.5. Respectable lap time for race pace. Closest to that is a 1:29.7 of Grimdog. So the two Ferraris actually holding the fastest laps as Kimmy pits again. So Kimmy and Grimdog have hit the pits. Kimmy serving a penalty and Grimdog exiting the pits will move the fastest lap off. Gap to the leader. They are your gaps to the leader. Gunner's the only person to be lapped so far. Lord Bumbledore, 1 minute 21 seconds away from the leader of the race. And those Mercedes just aren't high enough up. Roberts 52 seconds off the lead. And Cypher, who's running P4, respectable, but still 14 seconds off the lead, pal. So a really hard race for a lot of these drivers. I'll go back to standard information. We got some penalties there. We'll have a look at them. Just steering towards the later half of the race. And yeah, I've got to agree with you there, Marcus. Sherbert left it too late, I think. It might be difficult. He has closed in a lot of time already, but it is going to be very difficult to close in that time. As into the pits goes SF1 Gumba. Didn't feel comfortable anymore on those tyres and he drops down to P8. We have a yellow flag in sector 2 and some wheel-to-wheel contact, and round goes your Robbie. Just caught that as Wrathful passes your Robbie. A bit of wheel-to-wheel contact unfortunately, and round went your Robbie, who's dropped himself down now to P7 and has wing damage, and now has Nutmeg, who might be able to pass him just in time. Not quite. Actually looks like he's damage free. So it'd be good if he doesn't have any damage. But yeah, Nutmeg really close now to the back of your Robbie, and your Robbie's probably a little bit upset there with that. Solex. Oh no! Oh, no, 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 no. It was Johnny Sherbert in Sector 2. It was Johnny Sherbert. No, it was Solex. I don't know why I'm getting so... Oh, my goodness. Oh, God. It was Solex in Sector 2 by the looks of it who's gone around, because he's now dropped back behind Johnny Sherbert. And now, leading the race is SF1 Cardinal with just 5 laps to go. And he's got Johnny Sherbert right behind him, just 6 seconds away. So if Johnny Sherbert gains by a second a lap, prime time, just over a second per lap, prime time for a final lap showdown. I think it might happen a little bit sooner, but Solex has made his mistake and is now behind Johnny Sherbert. Not too far behind, but behind. 3-second penalty for Gunners. Sorry about getting so excited there. I sort of lost my... Yeah, it happens. But something happened to Solex and I missed it and I feel terrible. But Solex now in P3. And Cardinal up. Leading the race from P5 on the grid, I believe. Nutmeg. 3/10 away from your Robbie, getting close but not quite close enough. Have we got any more fights on the board? No, this is the closest one, and Gumba's behind him. He's only a second behind and gaining, now within a second. So we've got 2 cars now suddenly within the DRS zone and ready to fight for P7. P1 and P7 would be a brilliant finish for the Renault guys, if I don't say so myself. Sherbert left it too late. Going to miss Solex and his pink Power Ranger helmet. Is he not going to have a Power Ranger helmet anymore? You can just change the colour. Oh, you can keep the pink Power Ranger helmet, no? Green and pink if he stays with the same team. That look nice. Stop moaning, Rashi. You get what you're given, alright? Next year, or next season, you get a green car instead of a pink one. But we do also get a Russian flag car, if that's any compromise. Is it bad that I like the livery in the house? Don't comment. 3.7 seconds, the gap to Johnny, to Cardinal from Johnny, as Gumba makes his way past very nicely your Robbie for P7. So there you go, Marcus. There you go, Marcus. Gumba making some moves, and Rashi as well. You were giving him some love as well. Everyone either on the softs or the hards now as we come into the final 4 laps or 3.5 laps of the race. Your Robbie sticking to the tail end of Gumba as well. He's staying within a second, and Lord Bumbledore finally seems to be making some sort of movement away from second last on the grid. I think this is all to try and make the championship a bit more entertaining. I think he's just playing with us. He's not normally this bad. He's very fast. So Bumbledore messing with us, I think. I don't know whether he's given the controller or the wheel to his niece or something. I don't know. He's messing with us. So Lord Bumbledore trying to get past Kimmy, unless he just hasn't practiced. I don't know. But yeah, Rashi. Stop moaning. So actually, it's been a really exciting race, but as we come into the final sort of 6 laps, the gaps just started forming, and now there isn't really any wheel-to-wheel racing, but we've had wheel-to-wheel stuff throughout the race. And remember, everything is building and building and building to hopefully that crescendo of wheel-to-wheel racing between Johnny Sherbert and Cardinal. I have a feeling when it comes to it, it might be a little short-lived. But hopefully Cardinal defends like an absolute G. and doesn't let Johnny Sherbert pass. That's a very good question. I'll show you what the penalties are. 3 seconds to Solex, 3 seconds to all our your face. Robert 22 has 3 seconds. Grimdog, unfortunately, has 9 seconds. Kimmy has 9 seconds. Lord Bumbledore has 3 seconds. Oh yeah, yeah. Pardon me, very rude. And the Gunners has 6 seconds, so there's your penalties. It's only really affecting a couple of drivers at the top there. But Canarito, of course, going to make his way past Grimdog. So that'll be very interesting indeed. Well, it won't be interesting at all. It will be a move under penalties. Why did you say that, Seb? If Gumbo can get closer to all our your face, he could possibly be in for a bump up to P6 as well. That'll be a nice finish for him. I know not quite what Rashi wanted. He's probably just got to drive into a wall at this point. Because he told him either first or DNF. And Johnny Sherbert, as we go on to lap 27, is now 1.1 seconds away from Cardinal. So we're going to focus on this fight, and this fight alone, for the remainder of the race. Lord Bumbledore couldn't do anything for us, but here we go. Johnny Sherbert almost cracking that 1 second barrier. Almost cracking the 1 second barrier. It's just bouncing now off 1 second. And now it dips under. It dips under for the first time, and he's getting super. Oh, he's just chopped out. A little bit of a bad exit. And this time he's not going to have DRS down the main straight as we enter lap 28. 2 laps remaining. We're about to come on to the penultimate race. And it is going to be wheel to wheel, I think, for the final lap. Johnny Sherbert doesn't get DRS, but crucially he's got a bit of slipstream, and that's going to pull him in a little bit. He can be harder on the brakes, harder on the throttle, more aggressive with his turning, and it's only 8 tenths separating them. Lord Bumbledore got past, but then got passed again by Kimi, so he's back down to 14th, but Johnny Sherbert with his DRS open as we come down into turn 3 for lap 28 of 29. It's Cardinal versus Johnny Sherbert. It's pink versus yellow. My voice hurts, to be quite frank. I had 2 cans of Coke next to me to drink throughout the race, but I haven't even managed to open any of them. 7 tenths the gap from Johnny Sherbert. There's nothing through the pack, so we'll keep our eye on the fight for the lead. If there's going to be a fight anywhere, it may as well be for the lead. That's where we want to see the action. 9.9 seconds, so Solex has dropped off somewhat and is actually currently in danger of being caught by Cypher Josh, who's now only 3 seconds behind, is that crucially within the danger zone for Johnny Sherbert. Now this could be interesting. Cardinal has stuck behind the back marker there and is crucially, I think, going to get DRS. As he heads down, he's going to get DRS, so Johnny Sherbert isn't going to be able to attack as hard as he did last time, and it's 9 tenths again. So complete and utter luck there, really, for Cardinal, who was stuck behind, I think it was Lord Bumbledore, who's now pitted again. It was or just moved out of the way. That's given him DRS, and he was able to defend for the last first corner, as we're in the final lap now. Johnny Sherbert couldn't get it done. Marcus was right, he's done it a little bit too late. He couldn't get it done. Guys, stick your driver of the day in the comments if you haven't already. Please, if you haven't commented, if you're just watching, stick driver of the day in the comments. Your driver of the day will take some votes. It's the final of this season. It's been a brilliant race. They've really given it to us. So please, jump in the chats and stick in your driver of the day, move of the day, anything you want to comment on. Get the messages going. Because this has been a brilliant showdown, and I think at the moment Cardinal is going to hold on to it. I think those softs just aren't quite what they were 2 laps ago, or a lap ago, and Cardinal has done absolutely everything perfectly tonight, and it's just fallen into his lap. Solex is going to be a bit gutted he couldn't defend for that P1, because that could have been a P1 for Solex. If it had held his game, he was ahead of Cardinal. We don't know how quickly he was catching, but here we go. As Cardinal wins the final race of GP3. Johnny Sherbert takes P2, a fantastic battle there at the end. And Cypher Josh actually takes P3, sorry, due to penalties, I believe. Cypher moves up into P3, so after that horrible mistake, Solex drops himself out of P3 and down into P4. Wrathful now, he's going to be looking to take P5, and All Out Your Face is going to be beaten by Gumba, I believe. Gumba moves up into P6. So Gumba gets P6. Brilliantly done. He did what he needed to do. Your Robbie, after a little bit of contact with, I think it was Kimmy earlier or someone like that, recovers to a P8. Nutmeg, he was sitting around P8 to P11 sort of thing. He's come in P9. A little bit of a quiet race for him, but brilliantly done as your Robert, sorry, not your Robbie, Robert comes across the line as well. Kenarito, P11. He comes round the final corner with Grimdog very close to the back of him, but unfortunately carrying some penalties and deciding to ride his car off across the line. Here comes Kimmy round the final corner for P13. And Gunners as well has just crossed the line to round up the back of the grid. That was very, very good. Gumba, as you say, went from P14 all the way up to P6, and he gets driver of the day from the game. Brilliantly done. Round of applause from me. Absolutely brilliant. I cannot fault that that final showdown, really. Didn't see much from the Mercedes or the Williams, but it did not take anything away from the fight we've just seen. Absolutely brilliant. Top of the step for Cardinal then, as he gets to celebrate. Johnny Sherbert looked like he had things under control, led the race for a good majority. I think he just went a little bit too late on that pit stop, and so missed out on P1 ultimately. Solex missed out on P3 from his incident as he was leading the race, and Cypher Josh, due to just being clean, moves his way up into P3, and there are your podium sitters. Brilliant stuff. We'll get them into the chat. I might try and see if I can get... No, he's not. I'll try and get... no, we've already done that. It's fine. We'll get the leaders in. If you would like to let me invite, thank you. Not join, invite, thank you. Johnny Sherbert, invite. And Cypher Josh, invite. But there is your top 10. It's Cardinal from Johnny Sherbert, from Cypher Josh, Solex, Wrathful, SF1, Goomba, All Our Your Face takes P7, Your Robbie P8, Nutmeg Tukas from falling out of qualifying takes P9, and Robert 22 is your top 10. From there downwards we have Kenarito, Grimdog, Kimmy, someone else, Lord Bumbledore, and Gunners. There we go. Danberg did not finish, I'm afraid. We have all of our podium sitters in. If you guys can just make sure that your audio is included in the broadcast. And I'll start from P3 as we go. So, Cypher Josh, you
Hello, guys.
Yeah, well, to be honest, with all of you, it's going to be a very, very similar story. That was really good to watch, and looked like there was a lot of fighting for a lot of you, especially in the earlier stages. You were really clinging to the back of Cardinal there and having some great racing as you guys were stuck behind Raffle and Kimmy. There's a bit of a train there, but talk us through your race. You just managed to pit P3 with the penalties there from Solex, who I think he dropped it into the second sector, but I just missed it. But yeah, let us know how your race went, mate.
Okay, that was an amazing race, an amazing season, by the way. So I'm very happy I can get another podium. The last fight with Solex was very intense, not just for the position, but also because we're only 1 point away. So I'm very happy. We're still fighting the championship, so hopefully we can stay in the second position. And it was a very intense race, I have to admit it. And congratulations to the others.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I've got.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, thank you for giving us that. And yeah, no, it's been a hard season, but it looked like it was a pretty hard race for you. But I think you've secured P2 as Mercedes. Unfortunately, you couldn't quite bring the performance you guys needed to get to just pit that championship, which Williams had a terrible race, unfortunately, and Lord Bombadil couldn't really do much. What could have been, but no, an absolute brilliant race from yourself. You kept it nice and clean and provided us with some wicked wheel-to-wheel racing. So well done to you. Great to see you on the podium.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant performance throughout the championship as well, mate. We'll move on to Johnny Sherbert. You, we had a bit of a talk about you at the beginning of the session or of the race. with his strategy and how that was going to go out. You seem to have things under control. You seem to have things pretty much locked in. Brilliant lap times, pulling the gaps, nice and consistent. I don't know. I think you pit a little bit too late, but couldn't quite get them at the end there. But a fantastic performance, and just getting pipped there by Cardinal. But how did things go for you? Was it a strategy error? Was it just not being able to get the pace in? How did it go?
Well, in qualifying, me times weren't fast enough on yellow, so I got forced into going on to red because I was slipping further and further back. I managed to put a banker in to put it on pole, and then rest were just straightforward. I had a good start. I had my teammate behind me to help me out a bit, and then it was just a shame I just couldn't catch Cardinal at the end. I were running low on fuel. I had little battery power, and tyres were going off. And just congratulations to him on a good race.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it looked like, I think it's just a couple laps from the end there that your tyres just seemed to, they weren't quite there, because you were gaining, had a nice opportunity, but then I think it was the end of lap 28 where Cardinal had I think it was Lord Bumbledore, a back marker in front of him, just nabbed the DRS off of him there. I think that was probably one of the deciding factors as well. It may well have been both of you on the brakes down into turn one there, if not. So a little bit lucky maybe from Cardinal, or maybe he intentionally sat behind the back marker, which he probably did. But yeah, no, some great tactical driving between both of you in the closing stages there. And although you didn't quite get the win, mate, it was an absolutely fantastic drive from yourself. Not quite drive of the day, because there was someone behind you all that did fantastically from the back, but absolutely fantastic. And again, through the championship, you've done amazingly, so well done on P2.
Thank you very much.
No worries, mate. P1,
Yes.
now, without being biased, get in! Cardinal, you didn't really seem to be anywhere massively fast in quali. You were just about there, maybe a couple tenths off, and then in the race you were fast, but I mean until the last sort of pit stops there, I didn't know what was going to happen. But you've done what you've done a few times, which is to just drive and not get in trouble, not really do anything too brave or stupid, and you've come out on top again, which is I mean, it's why we love you in Renault, of course, but I'm sure it's why a lot of the grid don't like you being about with your flawless lines and great racecraft. But well done, and again, without being too biased, I'll let you go through your race with us. So well done.
Yeah. Well, first of all, congrats to the other podium guys. It was a great race. I tell you, it was a head-down race. It was really a mental race. I went from managing a penalty gap to worrying about Sherbert catching up behind me. So I couldn't have asked for anything more to keep me pushing in both directions. I really think that trying to catch up to Solex and then defending, trying to maintain the gap was just what I needed. Kept me driving, kept me going, and it was great. It was just what I needed. I think I might get second place.
Yeah,
I don't know where the other guys finished.
What, second place in the race or in the championship?
Championship.
In the championship, it could be close. I haven't done the mathematics. I know Carlos is frantically working away on trying to do the maths now.
Yeah. So.
But all I know so far is that Williams have bagged it and Mercedes just missed out.
But
so
hats
we'll
off
get all that information.
hats off to everyone in that race. Everybody I encountered, it was great racing all the way up through. It was just a great way to end the season. So hats off to everybody, really.
Oh yeah, massively. You guys have you guys may be on the podium now, but we've had loads of drivers up here in the box talking to us and giving us some great racing throughout the championship. So without taking the spotlight away from you guys, I've got to say a massive thank you to everyone that's been involved in not just GP3, GP2 and GP1, which we have coming up, but the whole the league, because there's a great community and we've got some great drivers, and you guys have gifted us with some brilliant racing. There's been some questionable drives at points, but what's sport without some mistakes? So thank you to absolutely everyone, Marcus, Carlos, Rhodes, everyone at the top that sort of kept things running in the background, all of our stewards and everyone involved in GP3. So thank you to the top 3, and thank you to the rest of the grid. And thank you, it's got a little bit of an inside joke, but we even love gunners, so thank you everyone. We've had some brilliant driving. That's it for us tonight. We have GP2 tomorrow. We have GP1 on Sunday. Same time between 8:30 and 9, and we look forward to seeing you guys there. But from me and from the top 3, it's good night for tonight.